I just saw your show recently, and you were so cool in the show.
Oh, thank you.
So here's my first question. Did it put pressure on you to be the focus of such a big project?
Yeah, I mean, it's always pressure to deliver. You know, I don't mind being the guy out in front, because I feel like I show up ready. I'm a total team player. I love trying to help, you know, the people around me. I don't see it as me being the guy out in front. I just feel like we're all kind of doing this together, and it takes a village to put something like this together. Believe me. You know, I got a great cast with me. We got Netflix, who I thought did an amazing job, like, taking what we did and making it even better. So, yeah, it helps to have a lot of good people around you. That's for sure.
Do you have anything in common with your character? Are you as loyal as your coach as Utopian?
I think so in a lot of ways. I'm definitely stubborn like he is. I believe what I believe, but also what I like about, I didn't necessarily agree with some of I felt like he was too rigid in some of his beliefs. Like, we do not kill, not that I'm not going out to look to kill anybody, but if somebody's trying to take my son out, I'm going to take them out before they do that, you know. But
You're right.
I don't really believe, and we had a lot of discussions about that this code. But yeah, there are similarities, and but what I did like about him too is he's also willing to listen. He knows that some of these beliefs that he's sort of had this team live by for so long are starting to be questioned, and there's a lot of factions sort of railing against that, and he knows that he needs to listen. I think that I'm somebody who will listen as well when I feel like I'm wrong.
Jupiter Legacy is a versatile series. It contains many topics: family, religion, politics. But what did you like most?
I think the family part of it. I like the politics part of it too, because there is something sort of weirdly current about this, and you know, things are changing, and we have to sort of, you know, look to evolve. And I think that he realizes that if they're going to survive, he needs to evolve. But I think that the most interesting thing to me about this was the family stuff, because, you know, even early on when his father jumps off a building in front of him, how did that affect? I mean, he basically, it sent him into this crazy downward spiral, and which ultimately led them, you know, to these coordinates, which led them out to the island, which led them to these superpowers. But how does that, you know, having then had these powers for almost 90 years and having seen how it affects the family, his kids, his wife, his brother, the public, all this stuff, how does that affect him, and more importantly, how has it affected his kids? Because they didn't ask for these superpowers, they were born with them, and now they're learning to deal with them in different ways.
Family is everything.
Yeah.
If you had a superpower in real life, what would you want it to be?
Oh gosh, I would say invisibility.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
Those are all my questions. Thank you for spending time with me and answering my questions. Good luck on the show.
All right, Ali, thank you.
Hi, Ali, how's it going? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm a little bit excited because I'm talking to one of the best comic writers right now.
Oh, thanks very much. That's very kind.
Here's my first question. While watching the show, I felt like I was watching alternate history. It was like a parallel universe. I wonder if you were inspired by historical figures when you created characters. If you did, who were these people?
Oh, yes, completely. Inspired by everything, you know, so obviously there's a lot of influences that's very obvious there, like old comic books, but there's influences like King Kong and Close Encounters and everything too. So that journey to the island, King Kong, instead of a giant ape on the island, it was superpowers that was waiting on the island, you know. And but also inspired by Close Encounters, the Roy Neary character, like Richard Dreyfuss's character, of a guy obsessed and doing drawings and all this, you know, trying to get to this amazing place that was going to change his life. But then at the same time, also influenced by current events as well. You know, was influenced hugely by the 2008 financial crash, when capitalism looked like it was falling down. And it just reminded me so much of 1929. That's when the story started coming together for me a decade ago.
The series was announced about three years ago, and it will be published soon. Did this long wait put any pressure on you?
There is a pressure because, and it'll get even worse when the show comes out, because people will be like, that show was really good. This book better be really good. You know, the pressure then becomes unbearable. But you have to just try and step back and just enjoy your job. You know, so the new book is out in June, and I wrote it last year. And then there's one final book which I've still to write. You know, which is book 6 of the whole storyline. But it's coming together well. I feel good about it, which is. I'm my own biggest critic, you know, so if I'm enjoying it, hopefully everybody else will enjoy it too.
It's the first project you ever done on Netflix, and it's your first live action TV series. Did that make you aspire for future projects?
Oh my goodness, yeah. I mean, the infrastructure at Netflix is the most exciting thing in the world. Like at Millar World, prior to this, my wife and I, we did a movie roughly one every 2 years on average. Whereas now, my God, I mean, I can't even imagine how many we're doing, but Netflix bought 20 franchises from us when they sold the company, and we've got plans for all of them at some point. Yeah.
Finally, I want to ask you, you're one of the most popular comic book writers today, and now you're in the TV business. I wonder, which one excites you more, writing comics or conducting a series project?
Well, it's interesting because my producer job now, I'd say, is about 5 hours a day, and I spend about 4.5 hours a day writing comics, you know. And I know this is such a cop-out answer, but I really do love them both. And it's like I've got 3 children, and my 3 children always say, Daddy, who's your favorite? Who's the best? And I do genuinely love them all the same. And it's the same thing with the job. There's nothing I enjoy more, but I do think it's quite nice having the 2 different jobs, because as I get tired on one job, I get re-energized by then going and doing the other job and start making my phone calls and Zoom calls for the producer side of things. So I never get bored. You know, I as soon as I'm getting tired on one thing, I can jump over and do the other, which is perfect.
Those were all my questions. Thank you for spending time with me and answering my questions. Good luck on the show.
Thank you, Ellie.
Bye.